Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Jilly Bean's Creative Candy Jar. My name is Jill. If you're new here, welcome. Hope you see some things you like and are inspired by things I do, and stick around. If you do, like, subscribe, do all those things. If you're coming back, thank you. I always love getting together with my friends. In fact, this morning I was watching Helen D, and I love having my morning coffee with Helen. I know she's not really there, but I still enjoy having my morning coffee with her. So today is Wednesday, May 27th. We're almost at the end of the month. I cannot believe it. And I toyed with not coming back because I really didn't have a lot to show. And then I said, no, the reason I started doing this was so I could have like a video log of all of the things I get up to in a month. So I do this as much for me as I do it for you. And it's funny because when I went to pull all these things out, I'm like, oh, and that, and I went and got it. And then I went, oh, and that, and went and got it. So, so there's a little bit more than I thought. There's not as much haul as usual. I was very restrained this month, so I'm very proud of myself. So let's get started. A little bit of life update. I had a birthday. Do I look older to you? I don't feel any older. So I had my birthday was this past weekend. It was rain out here in New England. So I get a birthday redo. So my husband said to me, what do you want for your birthday? And I'm like, you know what? I want to go to a different ice cream store all 3 days of the long weekend. And I like to go for ice cream like at lunchtime because one, there's usually less people. And two, then I have all day to burn off that ice cream. But it was such crappy weather. We did it once. So we're going to get a redo next weekend. I was in Vermont for a couple of days for a company event. So that was a lot of fun. It's exhausting. I go as a member of the executive team, but I also go and help run the whole event. It's a lot. I'm getting old, remember? And on the way back, I usually stop at celebrations of needlework. This year, I decided to stop at a yarn store that's open to brick and mortar that I had never been to before, the Woolly Thistle. I've purchased from her online. She has a great online store. I wanted to go in and see what her brick and mortar was like. It was really nice. If you're in the area, it's perfect. It's a small space, but she has a lot in it because she has one of each. I shouldn't say one of each, but there's a sampling of each type of yarn out so you can see it, and then you would tell them what you want, and then her team goes in the back in the warehouses and pulls it. I didn't go in with a plan, so I didn't really get anything, but I've got thoughts for future times. Her yarn is very, it's a true woolly wool, which is really nice if you're looking to do color work. Definitely if you want to steek something. So highly recommend them. I would definitely go back, and I always have ordered from them online before. Got home in time to watch niece number 2 for the month graduate. The weekend prior, my middle niece graduated from the University of South Carolina, and it was a Saturday morning, probably like, I think it started at 11, so I watched it. I was doing some knitting, so I did get a lot of knitting done on that one sweater. And my husband's a very good uncle. So when they got to her school, like her school had it set up where I could follow along in the program to where they were. So when they were about a column of names away, I called him. He had been outside doing yard work. So he came in, we watched, it was great. It was really nice to see her graduate. And then that Friday, my oldest niece graduated from the University of New Haven with her master's degree. And I think her master's is in engineering, but she's working with marine biology. I'm not 100% sure. She's very smart. All of my nieces and nephews are smart cookies in their own way. So we have a group chat with the nieces and nephews and my brothers and sisters. And, I post pictures of them from the YouTube streaming of the graduation. And my son's comment on the whole thing was nerds. So, but anyway, she got her master's. I tell you, there was a lot of kids. I thought, oh, master's, it's not going to be so big. It started at 4:30 and at 7:30 it still wasn't over. Her name finally was called and I was like, okay, I'm done. I cannot sit here anymore, because I had just come down from Vermont and I was exhausted. But my husband, he's like, I'm not going to make it home. He had to do a few things on his way home after work that day. So he's like, let me know when her school starts. Because her school, there were 4 schools getting their masters and the students were not in alphabetical order, which made it very hard to follow along. And I didn't have a program. So I'm like, I text him like, okay, her school just started. So he stopped what he was doing and pulled up his cell phone and watched it. So we got to watch both of them. So it's best thing to come out of COVID, online graduations, 100%. So that's about all that's been happening with me personally. Crafting wise, if you follow me on Instagram, and my Instagram handle is Jillybuck, and I'll put that below. You'll see I started the month with great plans. I didn't get a lot of it done, but that's okay. I was okay with that. I got more than I thought I would get done. So let's get into the creativity. And as always, we start with my knitting. So what am I wearing today? Today I am wearing, I wrote it down even so I didn't have to look it up. This is the Sipila by Caitlin Hunter. And I got this yarn at a store in New Hampshire. I can't remember the name of it, but I got it about 3 years ago because we were coming back from Maine when my husband had taken me there for my 60th birthday. So that's why I know what I got it. And I started it and I knit it for a while and then I got bored. Because when you get to knitting, after you do all the color work, which is the fun part, you get to the body and sometimes I get like, okay, I'm bored, and it's because it's round and round. And I put it away and then I couldn't figure out how I was going to finish it, because when you become a certain age and stature, most patterns for knitting will tell you to come down and then go down a needle size and do the ribbing. Generally, I don't go down a needle size. I stay on the same needle so that I don't have that pull in at the waistband or wherever the bottom of the sweater is going to hit me. I just prefer to hang. I don't need any exaggeration there. So I just like it to hang down straight. Even when I do rib, lots of times I'll do a broken rib so it hangs a little straighter. But I wasn't liking that on this. And I was very concerned that I was going to run out of yarn. And I played yarn chicken with the green. So I decided to do I think it's called a folded hem finish. It's a new to me finish. I hadn't done it before. I did it on this, and then I did it again on my sea glass tee that you may or may not have seen. If you've seen me in public, you've seen it. I love it. It just gives a nice polished look. And as I pull my sweater up, you can see, so this is how it is, the hem just hangs. And I will put a picture in too, but it just hangs like a hem of a skirt almost. And because I was playing yarn chicken, I actually used the white color to do that. So what you do is, I don't like to do a rib of pearl. Some people do a pearl rib. I did not. You just go down a needle size and do about 1 inch or so, and then you do a sewn hem bind off. And I really, really like it. It gives a really nice finish. So something to put in your knitting arsenal for those of you who are either accomplished knitters or have come to knitting. I know a lot of friends have either come back to knitting or starting knitting. It's a great finish and I really like it. So that is what I'm wearing. What have I been knitting on? So, one moment please. Let me pull up my bag of tricks. I have two whips for knitting. So one is the one that you've seen before. I'm working on it. Hopefully it will be done in the not too distant future, because you think I would be prepared and have it out. It's the Angelita Tea, which you have seen before, but here it is again, and I will link it as well. And this is where, so I am moving my stitch marker every time we talk. this is where I was. So I was just about splitting for sleeves the last time we chatted. I split for sleeves and I'm working my way down the body. So I generally will knit about 10 inches from underarm to where I think I'm going to want to figure out what I'm going to do for either a bind off or a rib or whatever. Usually 10 inches, I try it on, make a decision as to what I'm going to do. I also like to, before I make that decision, let me back up, I like to at least knit one of the sleeves, because when you put it on now, it sits here. But once you put the sleeve on, even though it's a short sleeve, it's going to add some weight and it will fit just a little bit differently. It will pull down a little bit. So I'll probably finish this ball and excuse me. And maybe knit one sleeve and see how we're doing. It's also good to get the sleeves out of the way, but short sleeves aren't so bad. So I'm working on that. And then I'm also doing a pretty simple, good Lord, excuse me, sock that I cast on for my mom. Just something very simple. I don't know if you can see that. I put stitch markers every 10 rows so that I know that I knit both socks the same length. Hopefully that was in frame. I didn't even look. So, so I'm almost done with, she has tiny feet, so I'm almost done with that sock. I'll do the toe and pop off the next one. So those are the two things that I currently am working on. But that doesn't stop me from thinking about the next project. So Webb's was having their annual tent sale in May, and I said, you know what? I need a cardigan. So I just want to make sure it's a paid for pattern, so I don't want to show, there's no directions on here, but it just tells you this cardigan, and I will link it. This is the Kia cardigan from, I am horrible with pronunciations, Mini-Me Knit Designs. So I picked that up, and at their sale, I picked up some in the color lettuce, some worsted weight from Malabrigo. Of course, I'm gonna knit in green. I'm wearing green today. I swatched for it. So when I always swatch for a sweater. I don't always block. So if it's a yarn I've used before and I know how it will behave when blocking, I don't necessarily always block. But when I swatch, I do swatch in the format I'm going to knit in. What does that mean? So this particular pattern is knit front flat. It's a cardigan, it's not gonna be steep. So I swatched flat. And see this purl row here? That's because this was the called for needle and I was way off on gauge. So I went down a size. This is still not correct, but I like the fabric. So I will do the math. I like to refer to it as girl math. So I have a little rhyme that I say to myself. So for the gauge on that sweater is 3 and a bit, 3.5 stitches, 3 3/4 stitches per inch. My gauge is 4 stitches per inch. So my little saying is too many, which I have, too small, not enough, big stuff. So I will have to do the math and figure it out. It's a cardigan. I can make the adjustments as I go along. Hold on one second. I'm going to show you what I mean by I swatch how I'm going to knit it. So hold on. So I keep all my swatches and I'll take a picture and insert it in here. It's on the other end of the room, sorry. So if a pattern calls for knitting in the round, I swatch in the round. That's the back of my swatch. So I'll knit across, always doing this on a double point or a circular needle, slide it back, leave a loop, so that I can knit across again. So that you're still, because your gauge is going to be different if you're knitting and purling or if you're just knitting. I'm sure a lot of you watch Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, and she was just talking about how she knows with her knitting, she gauges out or she rows out because her purl gauge is different than her knit gauge. So she uses 2 different size needles. You're the boss. You can do what you want. So the girl that teaches my knitting always says, you're the boss of your knitting. It's a recipe. It's a guide. Do what works for you. As long as you're going to get a garment or a finished product that you like, there's no rules. Just like in cross stitch, no rules. There's no police. So that's on the queue. And then the other one, this almost made me stop working on the pink sweater, but I'm determined to get that one done. It's called The Sleeping Beauty. I'm only going to show you that because there's some directions down the bottom. And I was doom scrolling one evening on Instagram. Let me see if I can get this to come up with, but this was the inspiration for that. So I will put a link to this picture. Someone knit it in a short sleeve version with cream, and it's beautiful. And I'm going to be able to source that whole thing from my stash. So last year, Moon Glow. Do I have it over here? I don't. Put out a collection. Did you guys know she's related to Mrs. Jones Stitches? They're sisters. It's pretty cool. Hence why you know they both have incredible color IQ. I was looking for a way to describe that. So, and I was going to knit a sea glass with a cream background and these light colors. It just wasn't working for me, so I held on to it. So I'm going to do this with the cream background, the hot pink from the baby sweater I knit for one of my son's friends, and then greens that I can source from different things that I have. So I'm pretty comfortable I can source that entire project from things I have in my collection. So those are the things that I have in the immediate queue to get started knitting wise. Let's talk about some cross stitch. So, oh my goodness, I went downstairs to get it. I actually had an FFO. I was so excited. Ugh, I'm so mad at myself. I'm not going down to get it. I'll insert a picture of it here. And you'll see that, not by intention, the fabric that I mounted it on is very close to the color of the wall where it's hanging. But I finished the Summer Alphabet Garden by Jeannette Douglas. I finished it last year in June, and I finally FFO'd it this year. So it's FFO'd, it's hanging on the wall, sorry. And I was so excited. I had all these great ideas of doing all this cross stitch this month, and I kind of was a little monogamous. I'll start everything, but once I get started on something, if it's keeping my interest, I'll stick with it for a while. So I actually have an FO, and I ordered some trim to use with it. So I finished, and I can't find my little card, but I know I finished Dandelion Wishes by Robin Pickens. Hold on a second. Let me take it out so you don't have any glare on there. So, and I used a grab bag fabric from Color and Cotton in this really pretty shade of pink. It was a 40 count. Do you guys know? You probably all know how to do this. But what I do with gauges and fabric that I don't know what it is, I put a clear ruler down on top of it, and I take a picture of it and blow it up and count, because when I'm counting on the threads, it's inevitable I screw up. Don't ask me how. But then when I blow it up in a picture, I can kind of like make a little tick mark. But that's what I do. So this is done. I left the words off, and it's going to be finished in a pillow, and I'm going to use, I have some pink that I just used to bind a quilt. although it's pretty bright there, but that's okay. I like it. I'm gonna make a little pillow, and I ordered some gray crinkle trim that I want to use on that. So that is hopefully in my near future. And guess what? I know I can fit something else down here. And you know how I know that? So I think I told you guys before, I showed you the pears that Stephanie, the New England Stitcher, did, but she did strawberry templates. And if you have not watched Helen D's tutorial, the queen of tutorials on how to do a strawberry, you should. But look, and this is the big template, and I wouldn't use that on this because this is a 40 count, and it fits. So on the 36 berry, look how much room I have. Tons of room. So I know Helen was saying that Stephanie has, I'm going to call it a ticker, a banner or whatever on her website that will let you know when things are coming in stock. So if you're interested, definitely follow her. I did notice the other night on Instagram, and she's the New England Stitcher there as well. She had a post of some things that were going in, like some keepers and patriotic things that were on her website. Definitely follow her. So I finished that. And then I don't think I had finished the bottom of, and I'm calling it the bottom, who knows when I put it together, of the Biscornu. This is from Land That I Love, Biscornu book from Teresa Kogut. I finished this side of it, I'm calling it the bottom, and I have been working on the top. And I anticipate a successful completion of the top in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to, let's see if I have the picture here. One moment, please. If you don't have this book, highly recommend it. Even if you don't like doing Biscornus, it's got really cute little pillow design. Like you could use the designs in a pillow. Oh, well, I can't find it right now. But anyway, so it came from this book. I'm going to keep working on that. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know when I became so monogamous, but who knows? Tomorrow somebody could say, hey, let's start this, and I will. So that's really all I've done cross-stitch-wise. Cross-stitch plan. Well, you know what? I'll talk about plans at the end. Let's keep a uniform, other than those two knitting projects, because that one project, be still my heart. So the girls that I knit with on Tuesday night, a couple of them are going to start the Sleeping Beauty. They're all going home to source what they have, or maybe if they have to order something. If you're interested and you want to knit along with us, you let me know and I will include you. They also have another knit along that they want to do in a couple of weeks. So we'll see what if and when that gets on my needles. I liked it. I am the queen of start everything. But because my son gave me a gift, he's a really good kid, my kid. He came for my birthday and he brought me, he went to Stitch New England and saw my friend Pam and got a gift card. He's so funny because I'm sure I've told you, my son's an electrician. And I think on some level, all of his other friends wear suit and tie to work. Doesn't make him any better or any worse than the rest of them. But he says, you know, I went to see her after work, and you know, I look kind of like a schlumperdink. And I was like, you're fine. And he's walked in and he said something to her, and she's like, oh, I know Jill. And so it was really nice to have him feel like, okay. And she made him feel so comfortable and welcome, which I really appreciated. Anyway, he got me a gift card, and as soon as he gave it to me, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm going to spend this on. I would like to get the Brenda Gervais ABC 123. I love the tulips in that, so I will be going down to kit that up maybe this weekend. So that's all for cross stitch. How about some sewing? I did some sewing. Not a lot, but some. So I'm sure you've all have seen, they came out last year, where Summer House Stitchworks and Hands On Design did the pillow finishes with the ribbon around them. Well, I knew I was not going to get the ribbons stitched for Patriotic, but I did make some pillows. So made myself 3 pillows, and I could not find a coordinating ribbon that I liked. So I literally took some white fabric and kind of made like a, almost like bias tape, but was not on the bias. And I will just, you know, tack them all together, and they will be put out on display. And I will probably do the same thing for the other holidays that they have, because I intend to eventually stitch the ribbons. I have the fabric that I want to make the pillows with, so I might just make the pillows and put them out like this for now, and it will be my inspiration to get those finished. The other thing I started, and it was on my list of things to try to do, is to work on this new to me pattern. It's a new to me pattern maker, which is Sally Tomato, and it's the Tiffany bag. I saw this over at Blackstone Quilting when I was there, so I picked up the fabric to make it, and this is going to be my exterior. This will be my accent for the handles and straps, my lining, and I ordered, because they didn't have any in stock, some cork, and I'm gonna do the bottom of my bag in cork, and then these 2, I don't know if you can see them there, side pieces that come up the side in cork. So it's cut out. That's as far as I got. So I will hopefully get to work on that. But what I did do is a new technique to me. My friend Stephanie says it's easy, and I have to say it was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And that is machine binding a quilt. So I will insert a picture of this, but this is the quilt that I made. And I actually, you know, niece number 2 that graduated from the University of South Carolina, I originally purchased this fabric to make something for her when she was like 5, and it had been in my collection. And last year I decided it was time I used it, because I wasn't going to make a quilt for her, so I made something for myself. And this pattern is, hold on a second, underneath all of this stuff I wrote it down. Well, I lost the paper. I wrote it down somewhere. So anyway, I will link the name of the pattern. I think it's called Scrappy Strips or something from Quilt Love, but I will put it in the description box below. It's a great use of a jelly roll or scraps. So I really enjoyed that. So that is done. And that is the first of what will become a series for me of porch quilts. So I love to sit outside at night. Sometimes it gets a little cool, so I like to use a porch quilt. So that is my sewing. Let's talk about some haul. Don't have a lot, but I do have some. So I showed you that I picked up this yarn, so I picked up a sweater's quantity of that. So that, and it's a really pretty green. I don't know if it's my green, but I liked it, so I purchased it. You know, I recently used ChatGPT to tell me what color would be good for me. I think ChatGPT needs to get their eyes examined, because everything they picked is something that I would never wear. It, in my opinion, washed me out. So I talked to some friends, they agreed. What else did I get? Yarn-wise, I saw, and this is from, I'm showing you and I can't read it. Maddie's making this patriotic sock set. So I will probably do a shorty tabbed sock, the tab, the heel, and the toe in the blue, and then the body of the sock in the stripe. Ideally, I'd love to start it on Flag Day and have them ready for 4th of July. Who knows? We'll see. Oh no. Nope, it didn't fill over. I was watching my friend Helen, and she was showing all of these buttons that she got from Just Another Button Company. And of course, I don't have, one moment please. I'm actually gonna put you on hold this time while I go get it, because I think I know where it is. Okay, I'm back. It was exactly where I thought it was going to be, but if I hadn't put you on hold, you know, I would have been over there looking for 20 minutes. So I picked up the buttons, and then I had seen this other grouping that I thought, oh, wouldn't those be cute on a pair? Because I don't think I'm going to get the patriotic pair stitched between now and the 4th of July. But that's okay. I'm going to do a plain pair and quilt some of it and then just put the buttons on it. And while I was there, I saw this pin cushion. It happens to be patriotic, but it could absolutely be used for any season. I did not get the embellishments to go with that because I'm pretty sure I can source that from everything else I have. But I saw this and it's so cute. And this is the Peppermint Folk Santa pin cushion. And I love their pin cushions. Granted, have I made any of them? No. Do I own most of their patterns? Yes. Again, shopping for retirement. So I picked up the little button pack or accoutrement pack that goes with that. So that is in my collection now. I did get an order from 123 because my friend Sarah, I think is it R.I. Lighthouse Stitcher? Yes, R.I. Lighthouse Stitcher on Instagram. Again, putting out that PSA, more people that tell her, she'll get, maybe she'll do a floss tube. She should, we all agree. I know Missy agreed with me last time. And she's going to do Plum Street Samplers, Turkey Bay. I don't want to take it out of the packaging because, well, as her Stitch New England start in October. So I am going to be starting that along with her. So I picked that up and I got all of the flosses that I'm going to need for that and a piece of fabric. Which fabric should I get? This is a piece of 36 count fog. So was not exactly the called for, but I thought it would work. So I got that. So that currently being housed in a very boring zipper bag, but hopefully between now and then it will be housed in something much more seasonally appropriate. And I did get, so I don't know how many of you have been lucky enough to meet Linda Jean. And if you have been lucky enough to meet Linda Jean, were you lucky enough to get mail from her? So I have informed delivery, and when I check it every morning, I check it every morning for two reasons. One, to make sure if I need to be home before my husband to get to the mailbox to see how many packages are arriving. And two, to see if it's even worth going to the mailbox at the end of the day. And this day I saw the handwriting and I knew it was a letter from Linda Jean. I was so excited. And so she made me this gorgeous, gorgeous card. So Linda and Lisa, handmade by Harvey, met in previous crafts doing paper crafts. So that's how they met and became lifelong friends. And we are lucky enough to have them be part of our friends. So I was very excited I got that card in the mail. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is really, that's all I have for haul. Can you believe it? Surprised. Plans. I'm sure you've seen them, hopefully. That means I was able to upload them. Some new video things, banners to announce the different things. So I'll edit this video, get it up. Knitting wise, I'd love to be able to crank through that pink sweater. We'll see. I will like to source and at least swatch to do the Sleeping Beauty. Cross stitch wise, my friend Emma from B&E Stitches does just one for June. I reached out to her the other day to see if she was going to do it. I might actually get something done this year, since now she has her little friend that, oh my God, her baby is beautiful. There's nothing better than a small person. So I will do that. And I think I'm going to work on Liberty because I don't have much left to do on that. So at least I'll have another patriotic finish. And because I ordered some crinkle ribbon to go on that when I did the order for the pink pillow. I know I said I was going to save the Deadly Aquarium for my Shark Week stitch, but June 1st is meteorological summer. So I am going to start it on June 1st, maybe sooner, because they've already started to see sharks down the Cape. I'm very fascinated by animals, which, if you know me, you'd be like, really? I don't like animals. I don't want pets. I'm fascinated by animals in zoos and aquariums and in general, in nature. I just don't want them living in my house. But that's just me. Sewing wise, I would love to finish sewing my bag, and I do have to fix my brother's quilt because I really don't want to have to ship it. We will be going to New Jersey in June for my niece's graduation party, and I would love to be able to deliver it to him when I go. Other than that, who knows what the spirit will move me to do. We'll see. I've already planned ahead what I want to do for July. For Christmas in July, I have a stitch that I would like to start. Next month, I'll show it to you. If anybody wants to start along with me, that would be great. It's a really cute Madame Chantilly. Maybe I'll stick a picture in here so you can think about it. And ideally, just like in knitting, when I visualize the entire outfit as I'm deciding what I'm going to knit, I have visualized how that's going to be finished. And I want to finish it on a piece of some sort of metal behind it so I can make a little magnet that moves to do the advent counting. Other than that, let's see how much I actually get accomplished. Who knows? I hope everybody is well, enjoys the start of the summer. It's finally a sunny day here. I worked from home today because they had to come fix my HVAC, and thankfully it's fixed. But I foresee a new one in my near, not so distant future, unfortunately. But that's okay. It's all part of life. So everyone stay well. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in about a month. Bye.